Hello and welcome everybody to the ARCS Showdown, Saturday Night Showdown series. As always, I am Repeat tonight live from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Guys and gals, I am going to do my very best. This will be my first race post-COVID. So guys out there right now getting ready to get up and get going for qualifying. It's going to be a great time. Should have just about 20 trucks out here on the field all night long. Pending, damage, cautions, wrecks, things like that. But let's go ahead and bring up your scoring pylon. That way you see what happens as these guys come across that start stripe. Again, big thank you to Smeal Racing's pole award. We'll see who's going to be the fastest cat here in the Queen City once this is all said and done. Right now, keeping up with James Kerr in his number 75. Let's go ahead and bring this on up just a little bit more in that RaceArcs.com Black Acid machine, or one more time, man. I tell you what, James Kerr brought out an amazing paint scheme just a few short weeks ago. Loved it then, loved it still. It would not be enough if he ran that every single week. Chris Shorty, by the way, thank you very much for the follow while we were offline. Definitely appreciate it. Rick James dropping the 123 bits. Guys and gals, go on over, give this man a follow. I know this is an ARCS broadcast. You probably already do, but man, pay the man his due respect. Absolutely earned. Rick James, thank you very much for coming out, hanging out, and I definitely appreciate you, buddy. All right, so yeah, James Kerr, and there's a lot of other guys out there right now. Actually, Joshua Gaiman just went ahead and turned the fastest lap in his number 61 Toyota TRD. And just as I say that, Donald Ray is going to go ahead and bump him from that top spot with a 30.48. And then, here comes Seth Wansing in his number 9, 30.41. I think he might be, nope, he's coming across. I thought he might have been a one and done. Yeah, he is. He's actually really slow down the backstretch. So right now, Seth Wansing, the man on top, the guy to beat. Looks like Brian Rupert, he's also, looks like he is done. Jeremy Brialt in his number 74 Midwest Barbecue Ford F-150 also out there. Looks like Donald Ray, we saw him earlier kind of back and forth with Seth Wansing. So while Seth is done, Donald Ray took his Klondike number 5 Silverado out for one more lap, and to the top of the board he goes. Let's check in with the 12 of Ryan Pinnell as he comes across the start stripe. Right now sitting in P10, locking it down in that monster machine, doing pretty well. He is going to stay a little bit further down the running board. How about Mark Thomas? Let's actually change this up again. There we go. Mark Thomas in this number 55 Bad Obsession Motorsports Toyota TRD. At some point tonight, Kurt Swatsworth may join me in the booth. I know they're actually starting a little bit earlier than normal, if I'm not mistaken. Rick James, yeah, thank you very much, buddy. My first race back from COVID. I am sucking on halls and butterscotch with a what is this? A Blue Shock Raise Energy. So trying to get in here, trying to get this done, and have a great race all at the same time. But definitely appreciate you, buddy. So how about now the 78 of Toby Estes, old Furniture Row Martin Truex Jr. throwback. Truck's looking pretty good. So far sitting in P11 as he comes off 4 across the start stripe. Let's see if he can improve his time. Leaderboard says, nope, he's going to stay right where he was. How about Mike LaJoy in this number 77? Lurk and Tom, buddy, you are absolutely welcome. Looks like the 77, he's going to lock in at P10 so far, and that's going to be done for him. How about this 65 for Andrew Jamalin? I was kind of following him a little bit in practice. He's got this big old sponsor me please on this hood and also on the deck lid. I tell you what, this is definitely one guy that you would want to follow and want to sponsor. Doing pretty good so far in the season. Combat Beast, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. So let's see where Andrew Jamalin posts so far. P13 on lap number 1 is going to go for 2. If you're looking for a truck to sponsor in this ARCS Saturday Night Showdown Truck Series, you definitely want to look up Andrew Jamalin. Very, very fast, very clean, finishes most races, and he'll do you proud. All right, so second lap, quite a bit faster, up to P5. Let's check in with Briley Wright as he's on his flyer. All right, so his first lap going down the backstretch. Let's see how he gets into turns 3 and 4 right here in this Rowdy Energy number 46. Gonna run that middle line, dive it all the way down to the bottom as close as he can get it while giving as much throttle as he can. Off of 4 across the stripe. And so far, Briley Wright is going to be P14. Let's see what he can do here on his second lap. If he can pick up some time. Most people have been able to pick up time on their second lap. Let's see if he adds to that metric, or if he stays right there, and maybe he's got a race-winning truck. Maybe not necessarily a Smeal Racing Designs pole-winning truck. We'll have to see. All right, so Briley Wright on his second lap, up one more spot to P number 13. And so far, 14 guys have gone ahead and taken time. Those not yet gone out, Thomas Andrews, Tristan Catania, Tommy Withers, and Tom Sears to round out our 14 truck field. But yeah, Combat, I am doing all right, but I'm getting over COVID. Like I was just saying, I'm sucking down some Halls and some butterscotch candy and a Blue Shock Raise Energy, trying to keep my voice going without going into any kind of a coughing fit. And let's check in with Thomas Andrews, as he's just now going to go ahead and pull off of pit road. All the way around the apron until he gets to the blue cone. Then he'll be able to merge on up and legally start his warm-up lap. Off of turn 4. I know, Combat. I know, buddy. All right, so as you can see, him in turn 1 all the way down to the line. Let the... Oh, a little bit too much wheel. Save it. Can he save it? He did come across the line, so this will count. He's got to try to get back up and grab a gear and get back going again. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Let's pick up with Tommy Sears as he just pulled off pit road. All right, so Tommy Sears coming to the start stripe to start his first lap. And let's see how much speed he can carry into 1 and 2. See if he's able to manage his throttle and have a better exit than the last truck did. So far, so good. It's kind of interesting to see this 14. It's kind of interesting to see this number 14 not painted neon yellow. That's normally Tommy's thing. But tonight... All right, I have to kind of tone it down just a little bit if I can. But yeah, so far this 14 a little bit different than his neon yellow Toyota. This one looking pretty good, just all the same all the way down on the bottom line, going through turns 3 and 4. Going to come on up off the corner. And so far, he was P13 for lap number 2. Let's move him up to P number 6. Good job by him. How about Tom Andrews? Going to try this again in his Exalta number 24. So far, P14 on the board, so he's got 1 lap completed. I believe last time he went by, he had taken the first official lap. So we'll see how this stands. Again, so far P14. If he comes across the line next time by, as he exits turn number 2, we'll know if that lap was official or not. And he's just waiting, just going to check to see what he's going to have for the opening laps here from the Queen City. Again, Charlotte Motor Speedway is the place to be tonight. Oh, as he goes on up and smacks that outside wall, a little tight off turn 4, and that is something very, very normal for this track. All right, so far, Donald Ray, he's going to be the Smeal Racing Designs pole winner. Jeremy Brialt, Cody Meadows would be P3. So far to qualify is going to be Tristan Catania and Tommy Withers. "16 guys have qualified. They've got a 15-minute shot clock, so to call it. So we'll see if anybody else, or if these last 2 leave pit road to go ahead and put a lap in. And just as I say that, here comes that Ally 48 Silverado for Tristan Catania. Gonna go ahead and blend, go down the backstretch, going through the gears, heading towards turns 3 and 4, building up speed, building up momentum. He's going to stay in that middle to high line. Little back end's a little squirrely. Good job by him to save it. Good thing, he didn't bring it around. Didn't cause any damage to this 48. Although all you'd have to do is file a damage claim with Ally. But yeah, down into turns 1 and 2. All about throttle management. You see the back end sliding out just a little bit. Let the truck wash all the way up to that outside wall and carry as much speed as you can off. Through turns 3 and 4. Again, let it wash up. And now here comes the money lap. Across the start stripe. Here we go. Watch that grass just a little bit. Tristan Catania, P17 on his first lap. So we'll see what he can do, as most people have actually improved on their second lap. Let's see if he can actually do the same thing and improve on his second lap. Big thank you to everybody that's out there watching either on Twitch or YouTube. Definitely appreciate you. Don't forget to go on up, smash that follow or subscribe button. We definitely appreciate it. Lap number 2 for Tristan, P8. So inside the top 10 for him. And that's going to... That's going to leave Tommy Withers and a late arrival, the number 29 of Byron Jones, to yet take qualifying. So bump the field from 18 trucks to 19. Again, I apologize for any coughing in your ears, ladies and gents. I am getting over COVID. I'm trying to keep the same amount of energy that I keep up week in and week out, but at the same time kind of straining my voice just a little bit. So if I cough, again, I apologize. Hey, I'm only human, right? But let's see. So Tommy Withers and Byron Jones yet to qualify. Still your top 3. Donald Ray in his number 5 HendrickCars.com truck. The 74 of Jeremy Brielt and Cody Meadows, P number 3. All right. Again, these guys have a 15-minute shot clock, and I'm sure that qualifying is winding down. You saw Tristan Catania go ahead and just park it, and it looks like, yeah, qualifying is still going. Looks like we're just waiting to see if Tommy Withers or Byron Jones go on out and put up a lap. Tommy Withers, of course, in his number 6, and Byron Jones in his Patriot Esports number 29. See what he would be able to do. All right, so qualifying is over. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how they'll grid right now. Let's go ahead and empty that out. And let's see. Here we go. Actually, let's pull this the other way. Let's pull this the normal way. So, again, Donald Ray is going to be the Smeal Racing Designs Pole Award winner. Jeremy Brialt, P number 2. Cody Meadows, P3. Seth Wansing, P4. Andrew Jamalin, sponsor him in P number 5. Tom Sears, P6. Joshua Gaiman in P number 7. Tristan Catania in P8. James Kerr, P9. Mark Thomas in P10. Brian Rupert, 11th. Kevin Reemster in P number 12. And then through the rest of the field, looks like it's going to be Michael Joy with Toby Estes for row 7. Thomas Andrews and Mr. Wright in P8. Ryan Pinnell with Byron Jones to his outside, and to round out your 19 truck field, it's going to be Tommy Withers in his number 6. Only Byron Jones and Tommy Withers, again, did not qualify, so they would start in the rear of the field. So in the rear with the gear, as the saying goes. All right. So again, it's going to be Donald Ray up here, and he will be again our Smeal Racing Designs Pole Award winner. So again, congratulations to Donald Ray in that number 5 Klondike. Earlier I said it was HendrickCars.com, but yeah, I was definitely wrong on that. So big congratulations again for his Smeal Racing Designs Pole Award. All right, let's go ahead and clear that away, and go ahead and set our grid. All right, so again, 19 truck field. Donald Ray is going to lead him to the green. Everybody right now is sitting behind that Silverado Pace truck. Definitely looking forward to seeing a great race here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's going to be a lot of fun. These guys always put on one hell of a show. Looking forward to one more as these guys are going to come off of turn number 4. Let's go ahead and catch back up from the flag stand as these guys get ready to get closer and closer. There they are, coming off forward. Barney, he's got the green flag in his hand, getting ready to wave that thing as hard as he can and set these boys free. Again, Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Charlotte 150. Green flag is out. Green, green, green. And at the jump of a hat, looks like Jeremy Brialt, he's going to be able to go on up there in his Midwest Barbecue, number 74, and take the lead. He's got the 9 of Seth Wansing, one of the guys that was fastest in practice, right up his trumpet. Tom Sears now back to P3, up to P3. He's up 3 spots. Donald Ray, our pole sitter, back 3 spots right now. Looks like the 9 is going to go ahead and try to challenge going into the corner. Ended up falling right back to P number 2. Going to try to look to the high side. Going to try to look to the inside one more time all along the grass. Will he have enough? Nope, he's going to go ahead and duck right back inside one more time. But as these guys battle it out, Tommy Sears right now, in his truck just turned his fastest lap, or actually the fastest lap of the race, with a 30.57. So Tom Sears showing that he's here to race tonight. So again, your top three: Jeremy Brialt, Seth Wansing, Tom Sears, Donald Ray, and Cody Meadows. Let's go ahead and widen this out just a little bit more so you get a better shot of the field. In fact, you know what, let's go ahead and bring this up all the way from the blimp view and show you exactly what this field looks like from high atop Charlotte Motor Speedway. Again, they call this place the Queen City, mile-and-a-half tri-oval right in downtown Concord, North Carolina. Huge track, amazing facility, hosts the longest race of the year. And a lot of people will try to run this race right after the Indy 500, which we'll also see very, very soon. And guys and gals, big welcome to the one and only KS Gaming 51. Heard him knocking out the booth, not quite sure who it was. Reached back, opened the door, and there the mighty bearded one stands. Swats, what's happening, buddy?
What's going on, Pete? Sorry about being late here. Got sidetracked with the kid. Happens sometimes, so I apologize. Looking forward to the Charlotte race. So I'm logging in right now. It's loading up. This is a race I was really anticipating to see who could make it around this track. A lot of good guys in this league, obviously, throughout the season so far. I don't know who you picked, if you picked anybody, so I'm just going to keep on watching here and see what I can figure out on who I like tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what. Donald Ray.
I guess that 74 is who I'm going to be rooting for.
Donald Ray started on pole, so he won the Smeal Racing Designs pole award. And as soon as the green kicked off, it was like Jeremy Brialt, Tom Sears, and Seth Wansing immediately to the front. Those were three of the the fastest guys in practice. So really, no surprise to see these guys up front early.
Well, I mean, if you look at the regular season so far, I mean, you've had Cody Meadows winning a few races, Tom Sears winning that race a few weeks ago. Jeremy Brialt's been really fast, just has not gotten the win. Donald Ray's always been there. He's somebody I've rooted for a few times, and he has picked up on it and said I should continue to root for him, and he'll win at some point. So maybe I'll switch back to Donald. But Joshua Gayman's another one that's right there in the top six. He's been a really hard-charging challenger to Cody Meadows, who's just been reeling off wins after win each week, it seems like.
Yeah, Cody Meadows right now sitting in P number 4, just one spot ahead of Joshua Gayman in his number 61 Toyota TRD. Swats, I'm so glad you're here. You're giving my voice just a second to recover. I am sucking down butterscotch candies and Hall's menthol cools, as well as the Blue Shock Rays Energy, trying to keep my voice going. This is the first race back from COVID. Coughing every now and then, but trying to do the best that I can. Glad you're here, sir.
Yeah, I had planned on joining earlier, but like I said, the wife's out of town. She got to take a vacation to Boston. She's up there enjoying and spending time with her mom. So I've had Dalton, and it's been kind of easy, but the last hour or so has not. So I lost track of time. So I apologize to your voice. I know you're going through a rough time with COVID, and hopefully you feel a lot better here soon. I'm sure after this great race that we've got going on, this could brighten your spirits just a little bit. Maybe not your voice as much as you talk, but we'll get you through it tonight, and I'll try to help you out as much as possible and talk more than you do, which is a very tall feat for most nights.
Well, right now, looking at a good battle sitting back here for P number 7. It's between Toby Estes and the 75 of James Kerr. Toby Estes up 7 spots right now, while James Kerr up 2. Great little battle, and I'm kind of liking this Black Acid Marvin the Martian number 75 for James Kerr. He's been showing up with a lot of really nice schemes lately. Yeah, I've been seeing him over on the Monday Night League that I cover for HCI Racing, and he runs the Black Acid over there. And he's also in the SRN League that I cover on Thursday. So noticing him in a bunch of different paint schemes each week, and he does a really good job with coming up with these. I don't know if the Black Acid crew, I know he's talked about before, where they, hand down some
some paint schemes to him to let him know what they're running and things like that to be able to put out the sponsor of Black Acid. But this one here is very colorful, and it stands out at the night track of Charlotte with the lights just blasting off the side of this thing. It's a very good color scheme with the lights shining on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Big fan of James Kerr and all these paint schemes. I actually mentioned to him the one and only female driver that shows up at South Boston Speedway, and he said, yeah, he knows the family, and they do pass along some of their schemes. And I tell you what, the Black Acid schemes do, I have to agree with you, absolutely pop under any lights, whether it's here on iRacing or out at South Boston. Man, they are phenomenal paint schemes to watch each and every week. And I tell you what, that girl puts her late model through all of its paces, so good job by him as well.
Yeah, he's been real steady. He's kind of been somebody that's, I mean, he's always seems to be fast. He just gets caught up in other people's issues, and he hasn't probably had the finishes that he would want. Probably not the finishes I've seen him have here at this league, but I know he's a very, very skilled driver. Usually pretty calm, doesn't really make those, desperate dives or anything like that. He's really clean on track, so I enjoy watching him, and definitely love watching these paint schemes go around.
Yeah, catching up with Joshua Game. There's a really good battle right there between the 88 of Cody Meadows, Joshua Game, Donald Ray, Toby Estes, and Seth Wansing. All just from the 9 on up. They were double file there for just a little bit, but able to go back single file. Thought better of it. You don't want to go double file too long here at Charlotte. While it's definitely wide enough to do that, as tight as this track gets in turns 3 and 4, you got to be sure that you take care of your equipment at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, too wide, it doesn't really benefit anybody. I mean, it's a super tight track coming off the corners, going through that front dog leg as well. And then also the side draft here, it definitely pulls both trucks. It doesn't really hinder, one truck like we usually see at some of the other fast tracks. And what it does is it allows the guys behind them. If you get side by side, the guy behind you is going to be right in the mix as well. And sometimes you can lose 2 positions in one corner because you got slowed down with another guy side by side, and the guy who was sitting back there watching you two just went by both of you like you were standing still sometimes.
Absolutely. Looking on board right now with this 29 of Byron Jones. He just got past the 8 of Brian Rupert right now, and sitting behind Tristan Catania in this number 48. Actually, as I say, he's sitting behind. Now he's going to pull to the outside of that 48 Ally machine, right behind the 2 from the OG Garage, kind of showing a little bit of some signs of an old Dodge Mopar paint scheme. Looks pretty good in that number 2.
Yeah, I was kind of looking forward to this race to see what other paint schemes would come out tonight, to see if there was any, big Memorial Day ones or anything like that you see on track during the races that we usually see. So kind of looking around through the paint schemes, trying to see if I can see any that are, specifically designed for tonight. But I can say one of the ones I'm liking is this Klondike one from Donald Ray. I mean, when you go into a race, I can't think of a better phrase. What would you do for a Klondike bar? Will you wreck the guy in front of you? Will you block? I mean, there's so many different things you could throw in for a Klondike bar, and I'm sure Donald Ray will probably use most of them to get his win this year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Donald Ray, he's very, very strong right now, sitting in P number 6, down 5 spots from where he started. Again, he was the Smeal Racing Designs Pole Award winner. So as Toby Estes in that number 78 Furniture Row Martin Truex Jr. throwback goes on by on the high side, as the 78 is now clear. I say that, yeah, with the momentum off the high side, he will be cleared. Go ahead and take that spot. Dale Fan out there saying go Jones in that 29. Of course, we know that is Byron Jones's grandmother. Always great to see her come out and support Byron in most of these races, whether it's here or Turn Down for What or wherever. Anytime you or I broadcast here or over there, It's always a great time, and always great to see family and friends come out to root on their drivers.
Yeah, and I mean next weekend, sorry, next Sunday, we go to Talladega for Turn Down for What, and Byron Jones actually won the All-Star race there last season, which was trucks versus Xfinity cars on track, or not necessarily trucks versus Xfinity cars, but they were on the track at the same time. It was trucks against trucks and Xfinity cars versus Xfinity cars. However, nobody really expected that a truck would win that race over an Xfinity car, and he outbeat, I think, 3 or 4 Xfinity cars that were right there in a group with him. So going to that race, I hope she tunes in next Sunday. I think he has a chance on Sunday when it's truck against truck. He's already won in that truck at Talladega versus Xfinity cars too. So it should be easy for him to go out there and beat just trucks.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. If you're out there in chat and you're a fan of IMSA, you know you're watching the 24-hour race of Daytona, you know, the Rolex 24. That was kind of what that race was modeled after, where you got a few different series on the track at the same time. So just like the LMPs and the Corvettes and the BMWs and the Porsches, this was a race of Xfinity cars versus trucks at Talladega. Ended up being a good time, and yeah, the one and only Byron Jones was able to go ahead and knock it out of the park. As you got a great battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th right now.
Yeah, Byron, I was very, very happy for him. I thought it was amazing that a truck driver went out in a truck and beat all the cars on track, whether it was an Xfinity car or a truck car, and he was first place for the trucks. But the overall first place was even more exciting that he beat the Xfinity cars. So see what happens next week at that race. I think he's got a pretty good shot, especially Pete, with you being his owner, being a super speedway driver yourself. Maybe learn from you.
Chase Sears out there in chat saying you have the 24-hour Nürburgring currently this weekend. That has got to be a very, very long, grueling race. You're talking about
fun to watch, though.
18 miles. I think, what is it? They can only go 4 laps or something like that on fuel before they got a pit. They talk about pits. It looks like we've got green flag pit stops underway. Just saw Jeremy Briel, Donald Ray, Mike LaJoy, and Kevin Feemster tip their hand and go on down pit road. But yeah, Chase, great to see you, man. Thanks for coming out. Absolutely, long time no see.
Well, Pete, while these green flag stops are happening, I'm going to do a pit stop myself real quick on my son as he is crying. So let me change him real quick, and I'll see if I can beat their pit stop times.
There you go. I just don't expect to hear zit, 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 zit on your way back. That would be bad.
It's possible.
78.
You might hear me say, "Oh no, poop."
Great. So it looks like the 14 of Tom Sears, Byron Jones, Rupert, Feemster, and more coming on down pit road. That's going to hand the lead over to the 75 of James Kerr. Again, in his black acid Toyota TRD, he will be able to go ahead and lead a lap before he brings it down pit road. All right, so yeah, brings that Race ARCS machine onto pit road. That's going to hand everything over to the 14 of Tommy Sears, and he will be able to pick up the lead, providing nobody else gets on by him. Joshua Gaiman, Jeremy Briel, Mike LaJoy, and Seth Wansing would be the ones to try to come on up and challenge them. But as you can see by the times on the scoring pylon, all those guys very, very far away. All right, so Sears able to pick up the lead from Gaiman, Briel, LaJoy, Wansing, Meadows, Ray, and Estes, as well as Kerr and Rupert would round out your top 10. So big congratulations to the 14. Got a win a few weeks back, now leading here at Charlotte. Let's actually see if we can't take a look inside with this driver. Let's see exactly what kind of time he's got on and off the throttle, and how much wheel he's putting into it as well. And just we just actually saw the 61 of Joshua Gaiman go on by, so that actually put Tom Sears back to P number 2. And getting a little bit of distance as well, now up to just about 2 seconds off the lead. Jeremy Brielt, Cody Meadows, Donald Ray. You're now your top 5.
All right, I am back.
Welcome back, sir. Hopefully it all worked out all right.
Well, it was all good.
There you go. There you go. You got you got
31 laps into here. This is getting kind of crazy with these green flag stops. I don't know who's going to come next. That's what I'm kind of concerned with.
Well, I believe right there, everybody was able to go on down and complete their green flag pit stop without incident. Looks like the only truck 1 lap down right now is going to be the 46 of Wright, and Jamalin is actually out. So a guy that I mentioned earlier, having sponsor me all over his deck lid and hood, right now is actually out of the race. And Briley Wright, he's also one lap down. The last truck right now on the lead lap is going to be the 24 of old Thomas Andrews in this Exaltum machine.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that Seth Wanson came down early. Looks like he pitted about 4 laps before everybody else, so I'm kind of surprised he did that. But we've seen tires make a big deal in certain tracks. I mean, you're looking at probably a 2-second fall off, 3-second fall off from fresh tires to old tires. That's a pretty big deal. So if he stays out there long enough, the time that he pitted and then jumped out there on the track, he was gaining 2-3 seconds on the leaders. And I don't know if it actually worked out for him, as now he's slipping back. He's now sitting 8. So it could have worked a little bit ahead of time, but sometimes it's a little too early to pull that trigger. And I don't know if they could have he could have went a little bit further, I guess. And I mean, it's going to be a 3-stop either way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It had been close.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or 2-stop either way.
Yeah, 2-stop. Yeah. Yeah, these guys running. This is the Charlotte 150, running 100 laps total, as you see there at the top of the scoring pylon. You mentioned Seth Wanson right now sitting in P8, down 4 spots from where he started. Mike LaJoy right in front of him in his 77, P number 7. So yellow is out. So this is going to be their one and only stage break. So stage points are a big thing. But Swats, this is going to rack and stack everybody back up, and should also put Briley Wright back on the lead lap, as he's the only truck 1 lap down.
Yeah, and I don't know if this benefits anybody really. It's a short amount of laps right after the green flag stops. It's not a whole lot, but it does maybe benefit Seth, as he's 15 laps on his tires, and they ran about 30-35 before they did those pit stops. So he's about halfway through. The rest of them are a little less than that. I don't know if you'll see everybody come down, as you've got some back there in the mid-teens, like Byron, Brian Rupert, Feemster, a couple of those. They're all on 9-lap old tires, so they could technically stay out. It's still going to be another stop, whether you pit now or not. It's still going to be one more stop to finish out the race. We got a wreck going on the backstretch. Looks like the 14 of Sears.
Yeah, I have a feeling something happened with his brakes when he tried to lock up. Got a little loose, but I don't see any damage on the front end of that number 14 as he goes back on up and recollects his spot. So good job by Mr. Sears to keep that thing in one piece, and it looks like everybody will come on down pit road.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if he got damaged that front end. He definitely bounced it off the wall, so he's definitely going to have a little bit of damage, but I don't know how much it actually affected that truck, because I don't see a whole lot, but he definitely bounced it off the inside wall.
Yeah. I was just on him. Let me see if I can't get back up.
Good to see that 77 back out on track, though. Last time we seen him out here, he won.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Looking at the at the 14 at his left side. I don't see any damage there. Let's take a look at the right front as well as the right rear. Nothing there either. Let's look from the nose on back. No, looks like
they don't have fast repairs, do they?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, so
yeah,
that's kind of weird because he definitely bounced it off the wall. So I'm surprised he didn't have damage. I know they were going at pace speed, almost. I mean, he was catching the field, but I'm kind of surprised there wasn't damage. That's going to really luck out for him since he spun it off the wall there.
I mean, it's been a couple weeks since I last broadcasted a race for these guys. I could be wrong about the fast repair. If I am, I definitely apologize. If I'm not, well, good thing. Yep, good thing for Tom Sears. But Joshua Gaiman, he's going to be able to go ahead and reassume the lead. One fast repair. So there we go. Looks like Donald Ray is going to sit right behind him. Let's see if we can't pull Donald Ray on up to the booth. Donald Ray, driver that's number 5 Klondike machine. Buddy, you started on pole, so you got that Smeal Racing Designs pole award. You fell back a little bit in at the very, very start of the race. Now sitting P2. You have anything for the 61 and try to reassume the position you had at the beginning?
I think so. I decided from the start of the race that I was just going to, if people want to pass, let them burn their tires up. I run that 600 today, so I figured out pretty quick that you need to save as much tire as you can for as long as you can. I was starting to reel them in there at the end. I think on this longer last stage here, I think I should have something for them on a long run.
Well, buddy, I definitely wish you a whole lot of luck. Make sure you go on and get them. Actually, SWAT's got something for you.
Yeah, it's obviously the obvious question. But Donald, what would you do for a Klondike?
Man, I don't know. I just thought the scheme was pretty cool, so threw it on there, buddy.
All right. Well, maybe we'll see you at the end, and we'll see if you put that Klondike to use and go to the front and win this thing.
Yep. Hope to see y'all in victory lane.
All right, buddy. We'll go ahead and get you back. You were with Team Outlaw, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, sir. Thanks, Pete.
All right. I'll get you back, Donald Ray. Good luck. All right. So again, Donald Ray, driver of this number 5 Klondike machine. Good luck to him. We'll go ahead and empty this out. We'll bring up our ticker. That way you guys get as much room and a view of this track as we get ready to go back green. It's gonna be it's gonna be a phenomenal rest of this race, ladies and gents.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping Donald would give me some of like absurd or like weird answer, but just likes the paint scheme. But I think if it comes down to the end, Pete, I think we'll see him maybe give a love tap to somebody to take that win. I don't think he's been to victory lane yet, but he's been close. So I definitely would like to see that 5 get it into the victory lane at some point here. I know we've got a few drivers that continuously seem to be either winning or right there in the top 3 with Gaiman and the 88 of Meadows and a couple others that have won multiple times this season so far. And Donald's been knocking on that door, and I'd love to see him kick in that door with that Klondike and just go to the front and win.
Hey, well, if he gets up here and it's after a bump and run or something like that, we can ask him, what did you do for a Klondike bar? So we'll have to see. Again, we're going to watch these guys come off of turns 3 and 4. That pace truck should appear. Yep, there it is. You see Barney the flagman pick up the green flag, getting ready to wave it for all it's worth. Going to set these guys back on fire one more time. Kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy. It is Maverick out. Yeah, this is the weekend that Maverick is back out, and here we go. I know. I just had to do it.
I mean, it's
no, actually, hold.
The reference
hold on. Wasn't there?
There's a few other movies, but that's the one that kicked in my mind.
Yeah.
As soon as you just said it.
Yeah, I mean, you think about all the great fighter. Yeah, you think of all the great fighter, movies from back in the day. You think about, Iron Eagle. You think about Top Gun. You think about I mean, so many great ones from back then. I'm glad to actually see this sequel come out, even though it's 30 plus years later.
Been waiting for years for this movie to come out. I was born the same year that Top Gun came out, and I have ruined at least 2 VHS movie tapes. That's how old I am for VHSs. But we don't want to talk about those rolling, whatever you guys have, film things.
Yeah.
So, but I ruined 2 VHS tapes growing up. Pretty much rewatching the ending scene over and over and over. Repeatedly. My brother and I just ruined 2 of them, and I have it on DVD, Blu-ray, and I bought it on Amazon. So, yes, I've been waiting for this movie to come out for 35 years, and they've talked about it a few times coming out, and Tom Cruise just did not want to do it unless he had a legitimate script, and he liked the script, and I think it was like 2 years ago, he actually fired the entire production crew. He did not like what he was seeing. He fired the entire production crew and restarted the film.
Well, I'll tell you what, talking about firing your crew and restarting, Donald Ray, he restarted P number 2, right now still P2, but this battle right behind him between the 74 and the 61, absolutely epic. The 77 very, very close in tow.
Yeah, these guys are lined up in a train, and what that's doing is allowing Toby Estes to get out of there because these guys are trying to leapfrog each other. But they're not making up ground on Toby. He's pulling away because every time they get side by side, like they are now 3 rows deep right there, it's just dragging them further and further away from Toby. If they want to catch Toby and not let him get out there, they're going to have to get lined out and go into single file and stop trying to pass each other. I know they're trying to make up positions, on these fresh tires and everything, but if you let Toby get out there too far, it's going to be incredibly hard to catch him unless we have more cautions come out. And I mean, we had 1 caution so far, but I really don't want to see these guys get side by side battling repeatedly and allow Toby to get out. Donald Ray brushes the wall right there. That almost brings out another caution with so many cars piled around him.
Yeah, great save by the 5 of Donald Ray. Still keeping a lot of guys pinched underneath him. 77-14, the 9, the 61 behind him, and here comes the 75 of Kerr. Right now underneath the 61. So it looks like that bottom side, Swats, is really where you want to be in order to make some moves. The high side, you really got to check up just a little bit longer than the bottom to get back on the throttle. But also, if the guy on top, if he's not feeling generous by any way, all he's got to do is keep, like for example, keep this 2 pinned underneath him. The 2 is then not able to get back on the throttle when he needs to be to carry the speed off the corner, and the 61 would be able to maintain the position, but that's not the case. 2 able to accelerate all the way through. 88 finds a hole between the 2. 61 now back to P11, 4 spots back since the restart.
Yeah, we saw it a lot today in the Xfinity race and the Truck Series last night. A lot of slide jobs. They were doing sliders all over the place. That bottom line, once the tires started getting worn, that's where you want to dive it down there, try to slide up in front of the other guy, and hope that that you're clear and that he doesn't run into the back of you and get you loose or anything, because they've got to be polite to each other if they want to get single file. But at the same time, you don't want to give up position after position every time somebody gets underneath you.
No, you don't. I mean, you got to figure position that means points. I mean, yeah, from 3rd to, and 4th on back, it's 1 point, I believe, per position. Top 3 usually garner the most amount of points, but you've got to fight for every single spot. There's a long, long way to go for these guys. These guys actually follow the actual NASCAR schedule all the way to November, so we got a long way to go yet. But, man, you don't want to have to look back at a Charlotte race when you're going through replays over on my YouTube channel and say, man, that's where I gave it away.
Yeah, this track, like Donald said, I mean, we've run this track a bunch between me and UP, but this track for sure is a track that either you go out real fast and try to get as much distance as you can, like Toby Estes is trying to do, and then hope that by the time your tires start to wear off, everybody else's tires are worn too, and they can't make up ground. However, if guys can stay in the throttle but not be really, pulling on that wheel and, shredding those tires, they can sit back and kind of conserve a little bit. and let those guys that really want to make the passes right now burn their stuff off. And if we have a long green flag run, those guys who've been sitting back conserving, like Donald Ray said he was going to be doing tonight strategically, you can make up a lot of positions late in a run because those tires are completely gone on the guys who are just, out here trying to run as fast as possible, making moves, going from, the inside lane to the outside lane, diving to the bottom. It just really hurts the tires. And I mean, Toby got out there to about 1.5 seconds, and Brialt's closing back in now that they've gotten single file.
Yeah, Brialt definitely closing in, but it's only like little by little. In like the last couple laps, he's made up maybe half of a tenth. So I mean, he's not really closing in all that much. It could really we might need to wait and see just how much Toby in this 78 furniture roast machine is pushing it now back up to 0.7 over Jeremy Brialt. A little bit further back to Tom Sears, but you got this long string of cars from about third on to about 8th or 9th behind him. So if these guys were able to work with each other, maybe do a little bit of leapfrogging if they happen to be faster and work their way through, the 78 might have something to worry about rather as the race goes on. But right now he's got the clean air. The 74, he's the one that's got to fight his way through it. We'll have to see if there's a challenge for the lead anytime soon.
Yeah, Brialt just cut 0.3 off of Toby's time, so he's getting closer to getting that draft if he doesn't have it already. And once he gets it, he's going to be able to pull right up against Toby. And if Toby's been out here running hot laps repeatedly, I don't think he'll be able to put up too much of a fight against Brialt. But the problem is, we all know you can get to somebody, but making that pass and making it stick, that's the problem with this track is once these tires get worn like this, I mean, they're like 18 laps into the run. Once the tires start getting worn and start getting hot and slick, if you dive it down to that bottom, the rear end may not stay with you. These trucks are so light in the rear end, or at least for me, they've always been light in the rear end, and I can't make the turns that some other guys are able to make. But these guys are a lot better than I am at this track, and iRacing, period. So we'll see if Brialt can make that dive down to the bottom. That's where he's going to have to make that move because Toby's running that middle to top line, it seemed like earlier. Now he's trying to take the air from Brialt's truck, and he's running that bottom line, which it's not doing anything. So Brialt's closing. He's down to now 0.2.
Yeah, just brought up the camera from just underneath the nose from this number 74 Ford F-150. You definitely see that furniture row label on the back getting closer and closer. Queen City's very, very big on draft, always has been. So, Martin Truex Jr., I was there the year that he led every single lap there. Toby Estes, if he wants to go on and grab that W, he might have to deal with Jeremy Brialt sooner than later. Tommy Sears just a little bit further back, about a second. Excuse me, about a second or so, and then Michael Joy and Donald Ray.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Sears, I don't know how he does it every week. He doesn't usually qualify very well or doesn't qualify at all. And he starts usually towards the back. I mean, he's up 13 positions, which means he started back around the 16th, 17th position. Or, wait, why does it say he's up 13 positions? It says he started 6th. I'm confused on that. But I don't know if he can really make up the ground like Brialt has. Sears has been battling back there with LaJoy, Donald Ray, Seth, Mark Thomas, but if you look from basically from first all the way back to about 11th, where Byron Jones is sitting right now, there's only less than 4.5 seconds. That's not a whole lot of time. That view that you just showed right there going into the corner, you can see the long train of cars that's coming around the same turn as the leader. So there's a lot of cars stacked in this line that if these guys get racy and they start getting side by side and Brialt's not able to cleanly make the pass very quickly, it'll draw this whole group of cars right back into the picture, and we could have 12 trucks up here battling for the lead instead of these two alone. And if you actually look at the timer, Tom Sears just made up about 0.5 with Mike LaJoy on his back bumper.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Toby Estes, he's definitely seeing that 74 get closer and closer. We mentioned not too long ago he was about 6 or 7 tenths back. He has absolutely closed that time. He is all the way down on that white line. Swat's kind of using it maybe to even help that 74 turn without getting loose at the line. Side by side battle going into one.
Yeah, we always hear about the Harvick line at Atlanta and a couple other tracks where he uses that line. And actually, I heard during the drivers broadcast today for the Xfinity Series, I heard Blaney talking about that, where you put both tires on that line, it gives you extra grip to make the corner. I don't know if iRacing's really implemented that into the system yet, but Brialt's definitely making it work like that. He's putting those tires right on the edge of the white. Obviously, there's a white, blue, then white, and he's putting it on that inside white line, and he's making the bottom work. And he just made it work on one straightaway. He made the pass on Estes, but that also drew Sears right back into the picture. He's now 6 tenths back from from the leader, and he's only 4 tenths back from Estes, and he's gaining with the draft now.
Oh, yeah, as soon as these guys got to battling, it absolutely brought Tommy Sears up to their bumper. But we've got green flag pit stops going right now. Seth Wansing, Ryan Pinnell, and others down pit road for their 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods. Go ahead and fill it up with that Sunoco E15 and get back out on track as quickly as possible. But look at this, as Toby Estes took the lead. It looks like the other guy actually went ahead and brought it down pit road. So he got caught, and this might be interesting. So we saw how quick the other guy was, and now he's going to go down pit road, grab those Eagle Feel Goods, come on out, and as long as the 78 and the 14 stay out on these older tires, that other guy with those 4 new ones, he's going to come out and he's going to be able to make up time. Even as the 78 and 14 are drafting, it's not going to be any match for brand new rubber.
Yeah, Brialt, looking at those 4 fresh tires, their fastest times are around a 30.4. The times right now for the leader and second place of Tom Sears, they're running 32.2, 32.4s. They're talking 2 seconds slower than the fastest times that they're able to run on those fresh tires. So that is what Jeremy Brialt is trying to bank on, is these guys stay out a little longer and he can make up time. I mean, per lap, he's making up 2 seconds. That's an incredible amount of time for him to make up, and he was already the leader when he pitted, so by the time the rest of the field pits, he should have an advantage. The question is does that advantage really work out for him with them pitting late and getting the fresh tires compared to him pitting early? Now there's only 24 or 35 laps to go. I have a feeling they're gonna have to pit again, because they just pit, or Brialt just pit with 20, 26, 27 on his tires. I don't think they can make 35 laps, 36 laps. So they're going to have to pit again. Does Brialt plan on splitting the rest of the run, or does he run it out next time all the way to the end, throw a little bit of fuel in, maybe right sides only or no tires, and then come back out with a giant lead?
Well, I tell you what,
Estes is now in.
Yep, Estes in. Tom Sears, he's also in. Joshua Gaiman is going to go ahead and re-inherit the lead, but that battle between that Furniture Row machine and the 14 of Tom Sears was epic. I mean, the 78 absolutely keeping Tommy Sears pinned down and able to really wrap that corner and accelerate off the corner, able to pull to the outside. Sears said enough. He brought his machine down pit road. This should all bring it back to the 61 of Joshua Gaiman. Right now sitting P4, but with Tom Sears, James Kerr, and Toby Estes on pit road, he should be the new leader.
Yeah, and Gaiman pit 15 laps ago, so he's going to have to pit one more time, but does he only take enough fuel to finish out the race? This is where strategy is going to play a big part in this, as Sears and Estes come off at the same time, almost side by side as they come out of there. Estes resuming back out in front of Sears, but this is where Gaiman's going to have to play a little bit of games with the field. Does he pit early? Does he pit late? Does he run it out of fuel or real close to running it out of fuel and just take the minimum with a big lead? He's going to have somewhere in the range of a 40-second lead if he's able to do that. And I don't think he's going to be able to do it, because Brialt is back out on track with fresh tires, and he's about a half second behind Gaiman right now. So he's probably going to wind up passing Gaiman in the next lap or two, as he's closing in on the back bumper now of the leader of Gaiman. So Braille's going to take the lead. Donald Ray's going to move to second. LaJoy's going to move to third once Gaiman decides to pit here at about maybe 10, 15 laps if he doesn't short pit it. But yeah, everybody's going to move up one spot. Estes, though, is back in 10th. So I don't know what happened to his pit stop, but the rest of the field pitted anywhere from 5 to 6 laps before him. And that's the advantage they got, was that extra 2 seconds per lap.
Yeah, I mean those brand new tires, they mean a world of difference here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and in fact most tracks. The only places you really don't think about tires all that much is, you know, Daytona and Talladega, iRacing Super Speedway, and maybe a couple of others, smaller tracks, maybe a Chicago or Las Vegas. You can go a little bit longer on the Eagle Feel Goods, but most of these tracks, you know, Charlotte Motor Speedway, Atlanta Motor Speedway, obviously, you know, Rockingham, some bigger tracks that absolutely shred tires, you really got to worry about. And it's kind of interesting, you know, Charlotte, it went through a big repave. What was it, 8 years ago or so? And it's
10 years.
Yeah, it's absolutely weathered in and puts on a lot of great racing.
Well, I know North Carolina did put out this past fall or winter that they put out, what was it, like $30 million or something? They put out for $10 million for Wilkesboro, $10 million in Rockingham, $10 million in Charlotte. So I don't know what the Charlotte Speedway is planning on doing with that $10 million, if they're just planning on repaving again to try to throw another surface in here. But this track, I like the older surfaces myself. I don't like the new pave. I'm not a big fan of the Atlanta repave.
Yeah, I'm not
just
either.
not a fan of how they designed the new part of that track and the repave and what it did to it. But like Kansas Auto Club, even though a lot of people were requesting Auto Club to be torn down and turned into a short track, it's one of my favorite tracks to drive. Kansas, another favorite of my to drive. It's a driver's kind of track. You can't just go out there and put the pedal to the floor and know that it's going to stick like a Daytona, Talladega, the new Atlanta, iRacing Super Speedway. Charlotte, you can pretty much put the pedal to the floor through 3 and 4. 1 and 2, you might have to burp a little bit to get it to go down to the bottom if you're going down to the bottom, and kind of just let it roll through the corner a little bit and get back into it. But I like these tracks where you have to drive them. You can't just go in there, put the pedal to the floor, and know that you're just turning left and you're just going to roll through the corner with the gas all the way to the floor. I like the tracks that you have to be strategic. You have to play, you know, games a little bit. You have to play a little bit of a wheel, what do you want to call it, saving, I guess?
Yeah.
Or tire saving with the wheel, you know, manipulating that wheel so it's not really, you know, working it to where you're really ripping those tires. You have to be easy with the wheel to conserve. There are tracks out there, though, that you can't conserve. There's nothing you can do. You can go out there and you can try to run a little bit slower. You can back a corner up. You can, you know, not turn the wheel as hard, and you're still going to shred those tires because of how bad the track surface is. But I like those kind of tracks.
Tell you what, for
Not
a second.
everybody's like that, though.
No, you're 100% right. I'm actually very curious to see what Atlanta Motor Speedway is going to be like with the rescan once they put the past Atlanta Motor Speedway back into back into the legacy file and bring up the new scan, what it's going to be, or what that racing is going to be like. I really think it's going to be like a mini Daytona in every series.
Just like it was in real life.
Yeah, just like it was in real life.
I'm terrified of that track now. I love driving Atlanta. You're very, very good at Atlanta.
I love that place.
A lot of laps. You have some issues with pitting.
Yeah.
But you're very fast at Atlanta. They repaved that thing, and it's to the floor the entire way around, just like Daytona. There's nothing significant as far as a driver's styling of driving that track. It's just put your pedal to the floor and make the turn. That's it. That's how I feel like it's going to come out. That's how it was in real life. You know, those guys were able to just dive it into the corner and stick. We did see a couple guys because of that bowl effect that they did with the banking, where they made the banking so high that once you got up a little bit out of the groove, it shot you to that wall. So that's going to be a kind of a play on it. I don't know if it's going to stay that way for long once they start running this track more and more, or once they start running Atlanta more and more. I have a feeling it's going to be more like a Charlotte, where the groove migrates to the top of the track in a later part of the run. You can really, work that outside, the Larson line, the Reddick line, whatever you want to call it, 6 inches from the wall. That's where I feel like it's going to be fast later on. But as of right now, with that repave, it's bottom and barely middle, whatever you want to call that, for now on with the pedal to the floor.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. Like when the officials go there and whatnot, it's going to be a phenomenal time. I can't wait to go there. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about as far as Atlanta Motor Speedway goes, and my woes on and off pit road. They
You wrecked 3 times in one race.
And I almost still came out and won. I missed it by 9 seconds. So yeah, but good job by Enrique Canones to go ahead and get that done. As it looks like we got at least one taker going down pit road. I think that might have been the guy that pit a bit earlier, and now had to come on down to serve what should be his last pit stop. 21 laps
Ryan
to go.
Bonnell.
Oh, was that Ryan? Okay.
Yeah, this is a 12. He's 1 lap down, so
Yeah.
he's probably going to come out at least 2 laps down, possibly a third or getting close to a third, depending on what he does here. I don't know if he's going to go full stop. It looks like he is, but I mean, Brialt's been out there 18 laps. LaJoie's been out there 20 laps. These guys got 21 laps to go. If you're going to split it, now's the time within the next 5 laps to split the run. But I have a feeling these guys like Tom Sears, Toby Estes that stayed out really long, they're probably going to run it to where it's almost dry and just throw enough fuel on it.
Yeah, it looks like Michael LaJoie, Kevin Feemster, and Tommy Withers, they may have been listening to all 3 of them now on pit road to go ahead and see what kind of advantage they can get with those Eagle Feel Goods. So we'll have to see. And Kurt, they've only got to take just as much fuel as they need. They don't have to take a full tank. Now 19 to go as the 74 came across the start stripe that time. You do not have to take a full tank. This does give you options to take just what you need, and there's several tools out there, whether it's SDK or sim racing apps or whatever, that will help you with your fuel mileage.
Yeah, and when you lower that fuel, even if you take 4 tires, it's still a faster pit stop because you're not waiting on that second can if you only took 1 can to be able to finish the race. But with 20 laps to go, they probably took at least a can and a half, I would think. Trying to look at LaJoie's pit stop, he ran a 13.8, so that's a pretty fast pit stop compared to, if you want to say, the guy who pitted right next to him had a 14.3 and a 14.7 to Ryan Bonnell, who was the first one to come down pit road. So that's a pretty good pit stop by his pit crew, so he's going to thank them. But that could have been because he only took enough fuel to finish the race. He didn't have to take 2 full cans, and it didn't have to stay in pit road that long. My question is there even a strategy out here who could only come down and, burn as much fuel out of this thing as you possibly can and only come down for maybe a half a can? Because they should be able to finish or go to about 5-7 laps to go. That's probably a half to 1 can. If you come down for 1 can, you've got a 6-second, 7-second lead. I don't know if you can do it. I don't know if it's possible. Because Brialt still has to pit, so that's going to be the person I'm watching. Meadows is now in, Sears is in, and Sears is in before Brialt. That's actually a pretty big shock.
I was wondering why you were still
5 laps behind there.
I was wondering why you were still talking. I was trying to say something too, and I was on mute. Oh man, what that was interesting. My bad, but yeah, great battle there between the 78 and the 14 as well. But yeah, several guys went on down pit road. Cody Meadows still on pit road.
Brialt
Jeremy,
now coming.
Yep, Brialt now on pit road. That's going to leave Toby Estes in this 78 to see what he can do with it. Chase Sears, I absolutely agree with you. Love the strategy. Keeps you on the edge of your seat.
And see, Estes is staying out. I don't know if this is going to work for him. He wasn't able to catch Brialt there, who pitted, before he did last time. Sears actually pitted before both Brialt and Estes this time. So Sears might be able to come out and be... I'm trying to watch this thing, and it looks like 74 is coming out now. He did a 10-second stop. That's a super fast stop. He did not take 4 tires. There's no way he put 4 tires on. This is not next gen with a single lug nut. He had to have only taken 2 tires and fuel, or Maybe he took 4 tires and half a can, but I don't know if it can be down to 10 seconds. That's a quick pit stop.
Well,
I'll have to go back and look at that one.
With 14 laps to go, these guys are looking at going caution-free, except if it wasn't for their stage break. So again, great job by everybody. Toby Estes continues to lead. James Kerr in his number 75, RaceArcs.com, Black Acid, Toyota TRD. Boy, is that a mouthful. Briley Wright, P3. James Kerr now back to P4 as he hits the commitment line for pit road. Jeremy Brialt, P4, and Mike LaJoy back to P number 5 in his double 7.
I'm looking at Brialt's pit stop, right sides only.
There you go.
That is going to be a benefit for him. I don't know. Estes is still going to have to pit, and Brialt's sitting 4th. Kerr's in now. He's going to take 3rd. Briley Wright's going to have to pit as well. That means he'll take 2nd. Yeah, he's gonna come out with the lead unless something happens here. The benefit for Estes staying out this long is if a caution comes out, the entire field will be 1 lap down besides Briley Wright, who still needs a pit as well.
Let's actually catch back up with Tom Sears since he's already gone down pit road. We saw him go in. He's got the 88 National Guard machine right underneath him. Coming up behind the double 7, whole lot of draft going on. Side by side across the start stripe, 11 laps to go. Kurt, next time by, we're going to be at 10.
Yeah, and these 3 are battling for position. This is 5th, 6th, and 7th right here with these 3. These 3 are trying to at least make up a little bit of time because Estes has still got to come down. That's going to be at least 30 seconds for him to slow down, go into pit road, come down, get as much fuel as he needs, if he even takes tires. I don't know if he can afford to take tires, but if he does take right sides, I don't know if he catches Brialt because Brialt is 30 seconds back right now. So it could be really close by the time Brialt comes around, unlaps himself, and then comes all the way around and passes Estes at the line. Brialt's right behind him right now, 1 lap down.
Yeah, Brialt and Briley Wright, Toby Estes, Cody Meadows, Tom Sears. Still a great battle between the 88 and the 14. Mike LaJoy in that double 7. He's fallen off just a little bit, but here they are reeling in the 78 right now of Toby Estes to get back on the lead lap. We'll have to see when that 78 comes down pit road.
Yeah, 78's playing with fire here because the 4 fastest guys he's been competing with all night are now unlapped.
Yep.
So no matter what he does, if he comes down pit road, he will not be the leader when he comes back out. There's no possible way that he could have less than 25 seconds on pit road and get enough fuel or tires and come back out and get up to speed before these guys would pass him. As he's coming down now, this is where you need to watch Brialt. He's going into turn 1 and 2. He's going to come around 1 and 2, come out of 2 and go to the backstretch. 78 still coming down pit road. Not even to his box yet. It's not going to be close. 74 is going to take the lead. 88, 14, and 17. If they want to catch 74, who's only got right sides, they need to start working together now. They're on all 4s for 4 fresh tires, so they're not that far back. They're about 2 seconds back from Brialt.
So it looks like so far, yeah, only the right-hand side of that 78 Furniture Row machine went up in the air. So just 2 tires and fuel. He's coming on out right now. There's the 2 in the 55 passing him on by. But yeah, he lost a lot of time.
The 9th or 10th.
Yeah, he lost a lot of time.
29's coming around now. He's going to go all the way back to 10th or 11th, and he's only on 2 tires.
So, Kurt, a lot of the guys will actually practice something like this during practice or during the week as they get prepared for a race. But you can't exactly get the real feel because you're going to miss, some of the things like draft. Your tire wear is not going to be exactly the same because you're not really battling anybody. So can you actually get a real good feel of 2 tires when practicing by yourself?
I am not a fan of 2 tires. Every time I take 2 tires, it's like the whole truck has no lefts or they're on ice. It's like you put skis on the left and you have good sets on the right, and the car just wants to turn harder on the left side. And I usually spin out. But, I mean, you can practice it. You can practice the pit stop. You can practice what the truck feels like. The problem is if they don't put the temperatures out, you don't get the real feeling of the actual track temp on real time. But me personally, once he saw Sears and Brialt go down, I would have pitted. I wouldn't have stayed out because Brialt, even on 2 tires, was still making up a second or second and a half on him, and then unlapped himself. If not, I would have pitted as soon as Brialt got to me. That would have given him enough time to maybe take right sides, only enough fuel, and come back out and be on the back bumper of Brialt, but he would have had fresher right sides. So he might have been able to contend with Brialt then, but staying out that long and Brialt getting almost half a track out in front of him on fresh right sides, there's no way he was going to make that pit stop and come back out.
Yeah, I really think if he was going to try to do anything, he needed more laps as we get to 4 laps remaining here with a little bit of a battle here between the 5 and the 55. Looks like that Klondike machine right now moves his way on up to P number 7, up 3 spots since we started. Yeah, he needed more laps, and he needed to take 4. I really think like maybe if that stage break hadn't come, he might have had a race-winning design.
Yeah, and the stage breaks, I mean, some people like them because it groups the field back up. Some people hate them when you're the leader because if you have a good extended lead, you can really work the strategy in your favor. But I'm still shocked that him and Sears ran as long as they did on the after the first green flag stop here, or the second green flag stop, and then him seeing Sears dive in early before Brialt did. I would have changed my plan. As soon as I saw Sears go in, I would have went in. That would have been the same lap that Brialt would have pitted. Estes would have had the lead, or 1 lap fresher tires than Sears. He would have been on the same lap tires as Brialt, and he would have had the lead, or at least been up here battling for the lead. But I mean, even Sears, he pitted a little bit early, and Meadows has gotten by him. So, and there's a car between them. There's a lap down car between them. That's the 12 of Ryan Pinnell.
Yeah, Pinnell right now looking for him. Yeah, back there, back in 17th. I tell you what, I didn't really spend a whole lot of time on this number 12 monster machine. That is one hell of a Halloween scheme. I'm hoping he'll put this scheme in his back pocket and actually run it a little bit later on in the year when we get closer to that time. But white flag is out, Kurt. I tell you what, Jeremy Brialt able to masterfully get this Midwest barbecue machine up to P number 1. He's got a good 2 seconds over Cody Meadows. He's going to come across the start stripe. Checkers in the air for Jeremy Brialt. Congratulations.
No commentator's curse for me. I've now picked multiple winners. So even though I was late to the party here, I didn't know what happened during practice. So I threw the 74 out there as my pick, so I'm really glad Brialt was able to bring it home. I still think I would have rather seen maybe the 5. No offense to Jeremy, but really good race by him. I think it was a really good, smart strategy. He pit first, and then was able to pit the 1 lap behind Sears. He didn't allow Sears to make the time up on the fresh tires that he made up in the first stop. So he kind of took that strategy away from Sears, who pitted early like Brialt did ahead of time. But Estes, I think this was his race. He just, when he saw those guys come down, I really think he should have pitted. He may have thought that maybe a caution would come out, or maybe he would have enough time. But these fresh tires, I mean, 1 to 2 second gaining is a big amount of time. And then to sit out there almost 8 laps longer than Brialt did, I mean, that's... You're talking, if that's a second gain, that's 8 seconds. If it's 2 seconds, you're talking 16 seconds he gained. So that's a lot of time to lose to somebody on fresh tires.
Absolutely. 74, again, Jeremy Brialt brings it to the start stripe for Charlotte Motor Speedway, and he's going to continue to light it up. Guys and gals, I put the MidwestBarbecueEquipment.com website out there in chat. Please go on over and check them out for all of your mobile barbecuing and smoking needs. Absolutely phenomenal equipment. I mean, they have everything that you could possibly need. Lurk at Tom Gaming says, wow, flag to flag, great race. I've got to agree with you, Tom. Absolutely great race.
Yeah, I mean, the 1 caution out tonight, the stage break, so I don't call it an incident caution, but the stage break caution, Charlotte's usually a track you might see 1 or 2 cautions, just how the track is designed and the way that it closes off coming off the corners. But these guys, I mean, these guys are really, really good, really clean. We've seen some really good battles going on. Really no, real hard side drafting. Some guys were, diving in there, but they did it with enough room to where they could slide up in front, and the guy behind them didn't have to let off, didn't have to, run to the back of him, be displeasured by that. But, I mean, I 100% agree. Really great race. Loved it with you, Pete, as always, and kind of interested to see what the top three have to say. Tom Sears back in the booth with us again. Cody Meadows, another top 5 finish. I don't know how many he's got now, but it's a lot.
All right, well, while we watch the 74 Midwest Barbecue Machine go ahead and finish up, let's actually go on through our top 18. I will start off. Jeremy Brial, again, your winner here in this number 74. Cody Meadows, P2 in his double 8. That Silverado was looking pretty sporty out there. Tom Sears brings home his number 14 again, P3. Mike LaJoy, P4 in that double 7. And again, Donald Ray in his What Would You Do for a Klondike car truck. Brings it home, P5.
Seth Wansing, that we were talking about earlier in that 9, brings it home 6. Toby Estes, who was out here and led a lot of laps tonight, winds up finishing 7th. Mark Thomas finishes 8th in his 55 machine. Kevin Feemster in that 2 that we saw winds up finishing 9th. Byron Jones bringing it home in the top 10 in the 10th position in that 29 machine. James Kerr in that Black Acid 75 brings it home 11th. And then Tommy Withers brings it home 12th tonight.
And to finish up your field, Briley Wright in his number 46, the 8 of Brian Rupert, Tristan Catania in his number 48 Ally Machine, P15, Tom Andrews in at number 24, Exalta truck pretty fast as well, just ended up with a little bit of an issue, P16, P17, Ryan Pinnell in that amazing monster looking truck, and then to round out your field, Joshua Gaiman in that 61 to round out your top 18. I believe there was one more. I'm going to go ahead and double check it. I believe we had
Andrew Jamalin.
Yep, Andrew Jamalin. In that Sponsor Me Please number 65 for P19. All right, so we're going to go ahead and clear this. We're going to go ahead and get ready for our top 3 to invade the booth. You know this 74 is going to be happy. We'll be right back. All right, big thank you to everybody that's keeping it right here. Definitely appreciate it. We do have our top 3 in the booth, starting off with driver 14, Tommy Sears. Swats, I believe he's with you.
What's going on, Tom? You got a copy?
Copy that, Swats. How we doing?
Doing pretty good. Not as good as you, bringing it home 3rd tonight. I don't know how you continue to do the coming from the back thing, but you seem to do it very, very well every week. We see you come up through the field. Very good finish tonight, 13th. We're battling there for the lead multiple times with Estes and Brialt. Cody was able to get by you there at the end. You decided to change up, or in my mind, it looks like you changed up your strategy. You stayed out with Estes very long after Brialt pitted, what do you want to call that, the second green flag stops. And then when the 3rd green flag stop came out, you pitted 1 lap before Brialt and about 6 laps before Estes. And it allowed you to make up time on him. Was that just a flow of the race decision, or was that kind of the plan once, the initial stage break happened and then you knew it was going to be a 2-stop after that?
Yeah, absolutely. First, I just want to thank you guys for the stream, repeat, SWATs. Really appreciate you guys coming back, battling I believe you had COVID. If that, I think I'm right on that. So just
Yeah.
happy-
Still does.
Yeah, still do.
Yep. So I'm happy to hear that you seem to be doing better. I really appreciate you guys streaming. I can't say it enough. Yeah, and to answer your question, Spots, you absolutely nailed it. I was on a totally different strategy, and just with the flow of the race, in that first stage, I took no tires, and it absolutely killed me, and we lost so much time. And so I was thinking about it, and I saw a couple guys pit, and I started thinking about it more. I was like, man, I got all this gas left. I can stay out. We can, hope for a caution. But I decided, you know what? My gut tells me pit now to have any kind of chance. So I just did it. It paid off. Toby, he's a great racer. You'll hear more about him as ARCS goes on, but he's very talented. And it showed the tire wear, the time lost on old tires. That he still came in. I'm not sure where he finished. He's like 6th. Seventh. So that right there shows the tire difference right there, because he's one of the best guys in our league. So that was a flow decision, no doubt. It paid off. I was battling Cody Meadows pretty hard because I know how the points are right now. He gained a little bit on me tonight, but I could have battled harder. But that would have put a risk factor into both of us finishing the race, and we're just trying to get finishes here. We're trying to make sure we're not finishing outside the top 10 at any point. If we're going to have a serious shot at the points here. And so that's what we did. It really paid off. Congrats to Jeremy. Heck of a driver. Again, one of the most talented guys. We got a lot of really talented guys from here. And congrats to him on the win. Memorial Day weekend. Just want to shout out all the veterans across the United States of America. We see all these movies with heroes and capes and all that, but the real heroes are our U.S. military veterans who defend our country and keep us safe. So big shout out to them in memory of all the soldiers and all the military personnel over the years who have lost their lives defending this great country. So thank you guys for the stream. I also want to shout out this paint scheme tonight. My fiance is in the Verdana Fields business, and I made a paint scheme for that today to try and spread that around. Brenna Fogarty, she's a consultant with them, and made a special paint for her tonight.
Well, I'm sure you definitely did them proud. I know I myself am a very huge supporter of military as well, so this weekend means a lot with my dad, my grandfather, and a bunch of other family members. But you mentioned the points with Cody. You actually led laps tonight. Cody did not lead any laps, so you should get that bonus point for leading a lap and then finishing third right behind Cody. You guys have been battling. It seems like you guys are right here at the end, always in the top 5. Last week, you were second, I think, and Cody was third. Or whenever you guys were at Lime Rock, whatever that was, 2 weeks ago. But now, tonight, the roles reversed. But I still feel like, Cody's been really strong with 4 wins. You only have the 1 win, but you're just as consistent. And the penalties, you have 0. So that's definitely been a help for you as well. But I think it shows a lot of skill the way that you drive through the field. I mentioned this earlier. I don't see you qualifying a whole lot, or even when you do, it doesn't seem like you have great qualifying time period. No offense.
Oh, that's fine. You're right. You nailed it.
But you come through the field like you just know how the track's gonna play out, and then these strategy calls, like you said, a lot of drivers or a lot of people watching don't think about how much strategy comes into this. You as drivers, you guys are thinking about it almost every single lap. So I was glad you said that the flow of the race is how it was going, and I was kind of shocked with Toby's decision to stay out super long. I was telling Pete it was a 2-second fall off compared to fresh tires to the long runs you guys were having, and with you and Brialt coming in early and Meadows also coming in about he came the same lap as you. So, and you guys finished I think 9 seconds out in front of Esty. So it's just those strategy calls during the race. It was a very very good thing, and definitely shows a lot of skill that you have to play into that mind game that happens during these races. It's not just go out there and put the pedal to the floor and turn left. It takes a lot of thinking and I usually am sweating at the end of the races, so I don't know how you are with it, but I'm usually sweating and my mind hurts, my eyes hurt from looking, my arms usually hurt from steering, and my legs hurt, my ankles hurt. I'm old, so it's just a lot of plays into it. And I think it's a really cool thing that you came out here and put it down tonight and come out third.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I'm absolutely sweating right now. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. I'm sweating. Just appreciate the current point battle with Cody. Cody's also another one of our absolute best drivers here in ARCS. So, hopefully we can continue to have a really good, clean competition. I know there's some other guys. Josh Gaiman looked like he dropped out of the race tonight, but he'll be back. Gaiman's one of the best, along with Cody and the rest of the guys who were fighting for the points. I think Jeremy's sneaking up the points now too with that win. So a lot of heavy hitters here at the top of the point standings and at the top of the podium here tonight. Just hopefully we can keep it clean and continue this great show we're putting on for you guys. Really appreciate the stream hit.
Jeremy's up to 5th, but he's got a 26 penalty point, so he could actually be 2nd in the points if he didn't have that 26 point penalty.
He'll come back. Don't count out Brielle. He's one of the quickest guys we have.
He's got an average finish of 6. He's got the best average finish in the roster. So.
Yep. So it'll be a great competition here. So thanks guys for the stream and for the shout out to all of our military personnel and shout out to Rodan Fields and my fiance Brent Fogarty. Appreciate it.
Back to you, Pete.
All right, Swats, definitely appreciate it. So let's go ahead and bring in driver of that number 88 Chevy Silverado. We're talking, of course, about the one and only Cody Meadows. Talking quite a bit about you here, Cody. Bringing it home P2. I really didn't keep up with this 88 all night long, but man, you got these very patriotic National Guard colors here inside the podium, top 2 spots, and man, what a way to bring it home here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. What's normally a great a show of military might in pre-race festivities live at the track. Talk us through your race and maybe a little bit of your strategy for this runner-up spot.
Really, not much on my end, but I will say this. I will give a big shout out. My buddy's probably going to kill me. I'm going to butcher his name. It's either it's Kyle Nadeau or Kyle Nadeau or whatever. But Kyle something, nickname Shenanigans. He's a good friend in a different league that I run. Really good guy, but last minute, I asked him if he could come and help me spot and crew chief, and he helped me through the whole thing. But going into this race, open-minded. I mean, like home tracks, Martinsville, got a win there. I really like Charlotte. It's not too far, but I went in open-minded, had a lot of help, and again, I am so sorry, Kyle. You're probably gonna hate me after this stream. But yeah, freaking the main goal is to stay alive. I mean, I know if you get damage at this track, you're pretty much screwed the rest of the night. At the first stage, I ended up hitting the wall, sadly, on the entrance of 1, which slowed me down throughout that stage. Ended up getting a decent finish at the stage points, and then from there, it was just stay alive at that point.
Well, man, you definitely you stayed alive, and when you're talking about your buddy Kyle and coming out to spot for you, crew chief for you, helping you with your different selections when you're ready to come on down pit road, whether 2 tires, 4 tires, how much fuel, whether to use your single fast repair or not, kind of takes me back to the movie Young Guns where it says it's nice to have pals. So there, hey, it really is. It is absolutely nice to have pals.
Another movie.
There you go. I was waiting to see. But man, congratulations on this P2. Way to bring that Dale Jr. Throwback. To Charlotte Motor Speedway, put on a great race. It was good to see the red, white, and blue finish in a runner-up spot. Any besides your pal, any quick shout-outs for you?
One that I needed to do at the start of this. I am so sorry to the 61. Like during the pit rounds, my friend was like, pit this time. and I had the 75, I believe it was, in front of me, and I didn't even realize he was that close behind me. So as soon as I downshifted to pit, it was too late. He caught my rib bumper. I am so sorry about that, but I really didn't see you coming. But all the soldiers, I mean, I seen the pain. I knew Junior ran this, so I figured why not? It's Memorial Day weekend. Let me go and pull up my actual sponsors. That'd be great. I should have done this earlier. Captron Minio, Runway Chassis, Saints of Speed, Smith Racing Development, JKR, T46 Graphics, Premier Racing Setups for giving me the setups to run my races in open, and my good buddy over at Ryan Billy Racing. And I like to thank you, SWATs, and Pete for coming out, taking y'all's time to broadcast these races, and a big thank you to the whole ARCS community. They're on a good show, and that sums it up.
All right. SWAT, I tell you what, this 74, I mean, he's driving a Ford, so I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But how about Jeremy Briot?
Yeah, Jeremy, you got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. I was a little late to the stream, but I wasn't watching practice or anything. Didn't know who was fast, and I came in and said I'm gonna root for the 74 tonight. And you come home with the win. So anybody out there who thinks there's a commentator curse can throw that out the window, because I've picked about 5 out of the last, I don't know, 7 or 8 races I've streamed in a couple of different leagues. So hopefully that was a perk for you, even though you probably didn't know it. But you come out here, you lead 50 laps. You move up through the points. You're in 5th now on the points, but you do have that negative 26 point deduction on you, where you would be probably in 2nd right now if it was not there. But Charlotte, you ran an extremely good race. You short pitted everybody underneath the first green flag stops after the stage break, and then when those second rounds started, I'm guessing you saw Sears come in. And then you bailed into the pits. But did you think the tires were going to be that much of an influence on here? I know telling Pete earlier, and I just told Tom, there was a 2-second fall off from the fresh tires to the old tires. You guys were only about a 20-lap run when you decided to come down, or 16-lap run when you decided to come down that last time. Was Tom coming down, was that a influence on it, or was that just part of the plan, watching the flow of the race and seeing how things were going?
It was Meadows. I was watching Meadows in my mirror, and he kind of influenced me because I wanted, because on the first pit stop before the first stage, whoever it was pitted before me gapped me by a bit. So I decided I kind of wanted to pit before everybody else, but that didn't happen. So Meadows and Sears pitted, and then I just followed after that. But the thing about the tires was the only tires that were really wearing was the right front tire. So the key there was if you could save a little bit more on those left sides and ride around the apron a little bit, you could actually take 2 tires on the last stop, which is what I did. And then from there on out, I had a huge gap to everybody else, because I don't think anybody else, maybe like 1 or 2 guys maybe took 2 tires. And then at that point, it was just all about saving tires and keeping the gap managed. But I don't know what kind of gap I had at the end, but it was like a 2-second gap. But luckily there was no cautions to interfere with that, because then I think I wouldn't have won the race on pure speed.
So did Estes, were you paying attention to Estes at all? He stayed out way longer than you with Sears that first time of green flag stops after the break, and then he stayed out way longer than all of you on that last one. Were you worried about him coming down and getting a little bit fresher tires than you with about 10 to go?
It didn't cross my mind until I saw a black truck pass Meadows on the last lap, which it turned out to be my teammate Ryan Pinnell. But no, I wasn't paying attention to him, because I didn't honestly think his strategy was going to work out to begin with. Like I said, until that last lap, and I saw him off of 2, but he was too far back anyways, if that was him, to be able to do anything. So, no.
Gotcha. Well, you take the win tonight. You lead the most laps. You get all the bonus points. I don't think you got the pole, so you didn't get that bonus point, but you got all the other ones, and it moves you up into 5th in points. Going into next week's race, how are you feeling about that one?
I've never driven Gateway before on anything but probably like NASCAR Heat or something like that. That's the only experience I have with Gateway, so I'm gonna have to buy the track, and hopefully it's a fun track. I hope it is. It's usually a good race on TV when it's on, so yeah, hopefully we can do good.
Maybe Swats, maybe he'll be one of those guys that says, well, I wasn't very good, but I just bought the track, and here he is, top 3. We'll have to see.
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, congrats, Jeremy. Great race. You led a lot of laps. One of the dominant cars. I love the strategy. It would have been the strategy I would have pulled. As soon as I seen Sears and Meadows come down, I would have went down. And I thought the pitting before everybody else was a good strategy too, because you made up a lot of time with that strategy as well, and put you back out front to be able to make that call at the end. As soon as you seen Sears and Meadows go, you win. So congrats on the strategy. Congrats on the really fast truck tonight and the big win at Charlotte.
All right, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you picking me.
All right, so that is going to be that's going to be it for us here from Charlotte. But we definitely got to, again, I put the website out there for Midwest barbecue equipment in chat. Make sure you go on over and look them up. And man, if you need anything for any kind of barbecue equipment, smoking equipment, things like that, please go on over MidwestBBQEquip.com and look them up. But Swats, we've also got these other guys, Chicks and Honey, over on Instagram. Chicks, CHIX, the and sign, and then Honey. That's an Instagram page all about teaching people how to create a self-sufficient homestead. We're teaching others how to turn raw land into self-sufficient property. Everything from solar, self-building your house, creating a garden, and raising your own animals to provide meat, dairy, and goods to your family. I tell you what, with the price of everything going up and up and up, Swats, it's only got to be a great idea to go over to Instagram, give these guys a follow, leave a comment, let them know that we sent them, and they might even be able to save a little bit of money off of what they learned right there from that page.
Oh, absolutely. Prices are only going to get worse and worse for a lot of things, so being a little more self-sufficient is probably definitely a huge good idea for sure. But yeah, Chicks and Honey, go out there and watch, or go out and see their page, learn some things. Maybe don't let the wife watch, because you'll have the honey-do list as Pete and I have had. But can definitely come up with some good ideas for being self-sufficient, and I don't see any issues with that or problem with that. So definitely check that out. But Pete, great race tonight. Sorry for being late again, but
fired.
I enjoyed being here. I hope you and Bex both feel better, get over COVID, kick this thing, and then we'll catch up with you here another weekend or something as soon as you guys feel better. And I love being here in the booth with you.
I definitely appreciate that. Guys, gals out there in chat, I put Swats' KS Gaming 51 link in the chat. Please make sure you go on over, pound the follow, hit the subscribe if you can. Definitely very well worth it. Both he and I are off tomorrow night. HTL is calling it for the holiday, same as Shake and Bake. But we will be live throughout the week with SRN over on YouTube for their series. So please make sure you keep up with both of us on Twitter, and there's always something going on. But again, big thank you for coming out, hanging out, chatting it up, keeping us company. Yotes King, thank you very much for the resub, as well as Rick James for the 123 bits. We will see y'all again soon. Enjoy the follow. To all my brothers and sisters in arms, I got your 6. Take care, everybody.